It's good evening to everyone here in the room, and also I know we've got a number of guests online. You two are really, really welcome to this evening's event. So, Iain is the 56th chair of the IMechE's railway division, and I just want to give you a little introduction to him. Iain's proud to be Strategy and Sustainability Director at Brodie Engineering, based in Kilmarnock in Scotland, where he's developing their business strategy, as well as leading their new consulting business. In his previous role, he was project manager for the Scottish Hydrogen Train project, which is a key highlight of his career to date. And in that project, science meets engineering, and learning is at the centre of all the work that was being undertaken. Another career highlight was leading the award-winning Class 365 fleet introduction for ScotRail. Iain, like many of the rest of us, started his railway career back in the late 80s as a British Rail sponsored student and completed a BEng in mechanical and electrical engineering at the University of Strathclyde. You'll have to forgive me, and I did deliberately switch the disciplines there. Iain, as I said, benefited from the then British Rail management training scheme, which gave him a broad background in railway engineering, and also the opportunity to gain experience in a wide range of railway systems, as well as build a huge network of colleagues across the UK, which I know he's continued to do and continues indeed to do so. On graduation, he got a role in the technical office at Haymarket Depot in Edinburgh before moving to the main railway works at Springburn in Glasgow, where he later became general manager of the business. After his time at Springburn, Iain went into consulting, working for Interfleet Technology as a principal consultant in their new Scottish team, going on to become operational development director for their business in the north. And it was during this time that he was especially proud of the young engineers and graduates that he encouraged on their career paths, both within Interfleet and the wider rail engineering community in Scotland. I've got the benefit of having heard Iain already, and I'm really looking forward to the second run. And I know, Iain, that young people feature quite highly in your presentation, and rightly so. On the IMechE front, Iain's been an active member of the Scottish Centre for the last 9 years, and was chair for 4 of those 9 years. And during his period of chair, with the help and support of a fantastic committee, and they are a fantastic committee, I know them, as are the other regional centre railway division committees around the UK and indeed in India. The centre developed a much more diverse and inclusive committee and range of participation in events. One of Iain's real highlights, and I can bear testament to this because it was my privilege last year, is the chair's visit to Scotland. And Iain single-handedly really has spearheaded an event when the chair visits Scotland that encourages young people from all companies, all backgrounds and disciplines within Scotland to come together and have a day and lunch with the chair. I found it a really insightful visit. It was great talking to all the young people up in Scotland, so much vibrancy and energy for our great industry. I don't know the answer to the question, what happens when Iain goes to his own centre, but I'm sure the Scottish Centre have got something fantastic lined up for him. So I don't really want to say too much more, otherwise I really will steal Iain's thunder. So it does give me immense pleasure to introduce your 56th Chair of the Railway Division, Mr. Iain Ray.
Can you check the sound?
Anyone here from the IT?
Okay, hopefully sound check and my friends in the virtual world are hearing me fine. Till Fiona comes back again. It doesn't, but no, a warm welcome to everyone. A warm welcome to our virtual friends out there, although I can't see you. So I've got a lot to go through with the objectives. About me, more important, I'm going to do is talk about you. That's much more exciting than me. Talk about your superpowers, more to be revealed. I've got an ask. I've got a really important ask. So please bear with me at the end. I need to do something. Just little pointers. It's not colour. Have a little ponder. Have a little think about it. And some takeaway points. So that's my little help, the little comments on. Hopefully, you'll pick up some of the main points. So you might have noticed I'm Scottish. I'm Scottish and cannot keep calm. And I've realised, reflecting back when I did the South West, that's probably more true than I thought. I thought I'm almost like a Billy Connolly, but slightly less swearing. Let's hopefully that's the case. So, now, who knows me? Who's worked with me in the past? His hands up in bits and pieces. If you can't understand me, ask these people. They might have half a chance. Feeling that, sorry. Okay. That's fine. Now, those who have not met me, some phrases, no. One really important thing for Scotland. Messages. Messages is what you have at shopping. So when someone said, I'm going to send you a WhatsApp message or a text, it makes no sense to a Scotsman at all. He's thinking about a bag of groceries. Try not to be dear, promise you that. try not to be crap. Hopefully at the end of this, I'm not a Nietzsche. So a bit of background on Scottish, but I'll let you judge that for yourself. Okay, about me. I'm dyslexic. So which one of these folks? I'm dyslexic, probably on the spectrum. I'm not a fellow. Middle English at primary school. Detained by borders between twice. That's fact, that's a lie. That's actually 3 times. That's kind of 3 times the border. I am an electrical engineer, and Olympics are red as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anyone have a guess on? You think number 5? Electrical engineer. Any other guesses? That's all the statement, it's false. The rest are all true. Dyslexic, my super strength. I'm not a fellow. I will promise I will apply. There used to be a thing in the rule book, you had to be a fellow to be the chair. Fortunately, I got moved a little bit, fortunately. Yeah, I'm really bad at English. But determined, that's my one. Pub discussion, that one. And don't worry, I am a mechanical engineer too, so don't worry, you haven't got a chair. I have to get an idea. And to be fair, it's only book I've read twice. I've read other books, but I just don't read. The answer is 42. More to follow. So, usual facts about me. Just want to talk about one thing I have set myself at the start of this. I want to set some objectives I'd like to achieve with the division board and my teams. The one to do what I focus on is about focusing on diversity and inclusion by focusing on younger members and letting them shine. That's the bit I'll be focusing on today. And by that, I believe you get natural diversity of thought, which is always brilliant. I came down sleeper last night and I bumped into 2 ScotRail engineers, both fairly young, and they're talking about BI and data and other bit things I don't understand. So that benefit of bringing young people and making them shine, which would be my big theme, makes a big difference to your railway. So it's a big push on me. Have fun in the way if you can. If you want to add anything else, please ask. The rest is all sort of more tactical stuff, but that's the only one I'm going to focus on. Have fun, laugh on the way, hopefully. So that's my objective. So please, if I haven't met them, give me a kick. Some of them are, yeah, I'll make progress, but that's my aim. Okay, agenda. About me. Now, the aspect Andrew's covered most of it, which is good, so I can skip on to part 3. But what I will do, I'm just going to flick through that and talk about learning on the way on that. So, first little question I thought myself, if I'm focusing on diversity and inclusion, why is someone male, stale and all that, promoting that? The answer is it's just the right thing to do. I've got 2 daughters. Why should they be any different to anyone else? There was a statistic from a previous chair, and I spoke maybe 6 years ago, that mechanical engineers in the rail division, about 5% are female. And that really, really shocked me. It really shocked me. And it's still, I've got more statistics getting better, but so there's a couple of things about this isn't, the right thing to do is focus on diversity. It's really, really important from my personal view. Other question I set myself, did I have privilege? Well, tell you what, I was brought up, and my mum and dad might be watching, might not be born. Well, I was brought up in a wee market garden. Parents went, they're shocked to meet ends meet. We had a house. The only reason we had a house, my mum and dad built it themselves. 3 years. And I still admire them for that. I was brought up in a market garden, worked hard. I didn't feel I was privileged. I had to work hard. I wasn't that rich. Bits and pieces. I definitely not privileged. And I thought about it a little bit more. I said, well, how did I get into railway? And I worked back about, well, I spent my railway career started. I was in the Boys Brigade. Boys Brigade, it doesn't work. Boys Brigade led me to Duke of Edinburgh Ward. Duke of Edinburgh Ward got me involved with the St Andrews Ambulance First Aid Association, and the company I was involved with was a Falkirk BR company. So my first interview was, oh, you know, such and such. I'd already accidentally made connections to the railway, and the root cause of that was actually the fact the Duke of Edinburgh Ward. So from that, conclusion was, I actually reflecting on it, I did have privilege. The privilege I had was the fact I had the option to Duke of Edinburgh, and that led on to things. And I think one of my learning from that is volunteering is a great way to develop. Yeah, we all want to develop work, we want to develop an education point of view, but don't forget what you do from a volunteering point of view, because that's what got me into the railway. So that's one lesson I'd like to leave. So about 6 lessons, so that's one ingredient. So doing volunteering, I think is good. IMechE, please feel free to volunteer for IMechE. Other institutions, other things are available. generally speaking, doing volunteer work is really good, transferable skills, working with people, and you can motivate people who are doing it for no money. It makes it a lot easier to motivate people who are doing it for money. So that's my first takeaway, doing volunteering. So let's talk about into railway. So gone to the railway, and I did all the usual stuff. And we'll say, till it's all right for you. You were a sponsored student and you got through the old BR and it was all brilliant. It's okay for you to say that. The centre to that was the IMechE MPDS scheme. That was the centre, that was the cornerstone of that. So although I had the British Rail badge side of things, those who are in companies that are asking whether it's the MPDS or your own scheme, you have a fantastic foundation. So, so don't go to, it's okay for you or British Rail. You have a great scheme there. So use that, work with your employer and develop that. So that's how I started. So you get a nice structure bit. Look past the way, I'm trying to get a wee bit more than I've got some captions on the way. So feel free to get your camera out. I've got more follow-up. So if you want to get a link, try the links out. But use that structure. You've got something there. That's what really helped me. That's what gave me the content. That's what gave me the base. So second one, NPS is a great way of developing. Now, I should have said at the very beginning, a lot of what I'm going to say today is focused on younger people. I make no apologies for that. I make a bit of apologies, but so you might say, a minute. So, but that's what I firmly believe. So there will be a bit of, I'll speak as if I'm, so if you're a younger person, yeah, use that scheme. And if you're a personal position and you have authority, yeah, help your graduates to develop that scheme. It's a really good scheme. So that's got me into Railway Society there. That was all good. So first job went to electrical mechanical engineering. I came out to work with ScotRail. I was really excited. I was an engineer. I get paid. The first job I was given was actually curtains. I had to fit curtains on 1/5/8. Now the usual thing, pull yourself together. You need to draw this. And it's such a good job of that. Then they said, tell what, can you do a first class refurbishment and a standard class refurbishment and a toilet refurbishment? I went, what? But it was brilliant because it taught you about projects. It taught you about the fact that it's a customer. Ultimately, everyone here, probably everyone, is either, unless you're retired, is paid by customers one way or another, whether it's freight or passengers. We're all paid by that, and the government, the way. But the reason the government pays is because we carry passengers. So that bit about focusing on customers and what customer is a real important bit. So that's my conclusion. Yeah, it's all about the customer. Or your customer's customer. And I always said to people, if you can think about delighting your customer's customer, you are really thinking about what makes that. So that's a real important thing. So always think about that. Yeah, is the work I'm doing helping my customers? Because ultimately, if we're not doing that, what are we doing it for? So that's the thing one. Think about your customers. Okay, so I moved on from ScotRail and I went up to Springburn. Became the works engineer and moved on bits and pieces. And what was really, really good about that placement was no disrespect to train up units, but there's a lot of stuff now, component changing and all that. That got me to the nitty-gritty of things in terms of how does the bogie fail, how does the wheel set fail. I did a lot of crash structures and all that, how to repair vehicles. So it got me into the real engineering of it. So I looked at the customer bit. This for me came a place about the engineering we do, how it constructs and how we do it. And then you go further. What's the input of a bearing? What's all the little bits of a bearing? So a bearing fails, it's rollers, the race and all that. So you get to the nitty-gritty of it and that really helps. And unfortunately, I've been involved with wheel sets as well when they go badly wrong. But understanding engineering is really important for that. So what was my lesson from that? Said about the customers, but it's about the engineering too. So my general thing, if you know what makes it work and you know what makes it break, you've got a good chance of stopping it breaking. A bit of luck. With a bit of RCM and other bits and pieces that I realised. So I think as a younger person, I would try and encourage you to get a grounding in engineering. Everybody knows bit, but have a grounding so you understand, yeah, what makes it great. And a big plug. If you've got training, get to an OEM or get to an overhauler. Brodie's is available, other overhaulers are available. But no, I will generally say to younger people, get to understand the engineering, what's behind it. It's important. Okay, so Springburn, so there's a lot of engineering. But I was in one lot of ways quite ambitious. So I then go, tell why we were developing tax and damage in bits and pieces, and I did an MBA in bits and pieces. But as for Springburn, I had about 4 jobs and salary increases with that. It's all about, I think, changing jobs, it's about stretching myself, pushing myself, asking to take more responsibility. Last thing is keep developing yourself. Another plug, we've got a railway L&D team, great courses. I know you buy courses for that as well. So yeah, keep developing yourself. Yeah, try not to get static, try just keep pushing that. That doesn't mean you need to get a new job. It's about doing your job better or take more responsibilities in the job. But yeah, just keep pushing that. So that's my 5th lesson. When the time's right for you, start stretching yourself. Now, ultimately, there'll be times in your life, situations in life, it's the wrong time to stretch. But when you've got the time, stretch yourself, whether it's on the job training, courses, or whatever, going to your boss. I like to get things done. So yeah, just push yourself. I suppose your company should learn to push as well, but don't rely on case I'm waiting the boss to develop yourself. And I suppose that goes for everyone, young, old, whatever. Keep pushing and developing yourself. Just a little passing thing. Andrew mentioned I became general manager. What I found about general manager was no matter what happened in the depot, that was my fault. Always, no matter what, you've got 150 people, one of them makes a muck up, my fault. It's painful. Ultimately, it's people that make it happen. Process, procedure are absolutely fundamental, but it's about people who make it happen. That's one thing I did learn was working with people, getting them to buy it and supporting you. If you've got 150 people who could make a muck up and get you in the trouble, get them on your side to make sure you don't get in trouble. So people bit is really another key bit for myself. So I spent about 11 years up at Swinburne, learning about engineering, learning about me and about managing people. I then moved on to Interfleet Technology, doing a bit of consultancy. There's one project I'd like to just pull out here. As Andrew mentioned, and in terms of as a project highlights, probably one I'm most proud of because it actually made a difference. It made a difference. And the problem was ScotRail 385s were running late. A windscreen problem, it was going well to the right. 170s were going off lease, and nice boss with the Edinburgh Glasgow line, which is the mission critical route in Scotland, was going to have no trains in it. It was really in the thing. Now, whatever reason, I had a bit of reputation of getting things done in Scotland. So the chief exec of ScotRail said, "Tell her, get Iain in and he'll help you out." So I phoned up, said, I'll come in Monday and I'll help you out. On the Sunday, I went skiing as I do and fell and I did a double fracture my arm, bits and pieces, like, oh God. So I was all strapped up in bits and pieces. So I went, I'm going into this meeting, I can't even write anything down. And I had this image of, in terms of this, Iain's help going to make a difference here, and he's coming in all injured and all that. But I took a guy called Michael Edwards in with me to help me out. Best decision I've ever made. Absolutely, just working with someone who was young. We're just nice bosses, switching the same wavelength. He filled the gaps where I had gap, but it was really good. Bringing in a train into service in 20 weeks is massively difficult. That's all the things you need to do. It's basically no one's brought in new trains on time and on budget and bits and pieces. We did in Scotland, and that's not because of me. The key thing is we did it as a collaboration. As a project, Network Rail knew the consequence of not running ENG. ScotRail knew the consequence. The drivers knew the consequence. The ministers knew the consequence. Everyone was aligned. And Michael was just brilliant. And I've used his phrase, and I think it just captures it brilliant. A collaborative approach of problem solving made this a project award-winning. Several different companies worked through a team issues to have a common understanding. Aspects as consequence of failures. Everyone knew that this doesn't work. This is mission critical, as well as it was importance of it. So my third and sixth lesson is teams with a common goal just achieve so much more. Now that could be teams within your own company, or that could be teams what your company's working with. But that team and common goal, when you have that, so much more is possible. And in terms of, we ran the first all-electric Edinburgh Glasgow, and it was great because I could listen to my house and hear it and go, tell it I was part of the team that did that. One of the things you go, well, we made a difference. If I hadn't done that, yeah, we would have short form. We would have been had passengers standing, and that's just so. Yeah, real terms of a bit of a highlight for me. So where am I now? I'm now at Brodie Engineering. I think I'm in a bit where, yeah, I want to do fun things, fun projects. I want to do things with people and all that. So we do things, bits, pieces. But I think I'm at the stage of my career when I want to be helping people. I genuinely want to be helping people, both when I own company and out with. And I think this IMechE role just now, I think hopefully helps me do that. So I'm in a bit of, let me put back. So I'd like to think I'm now putting back into that because I got a lot of support and help on the way. I'd like to think I need to do that back. So that's my lessons. I always came out of straight, certainly with consultancy. I thought, did I come at a bit of an anemic fee? Is that when you need me and you don't want me, I must stay. But when you want me but no longer need me, I must go. So I don't know if that's the case, but I always do as part of my role, or maybe I'm a bit of an anemic fee welcome. I'm here to help you honest. And hopefully you'll tell me what's here to help me then. I've got to go. Right, so that is lessons. So lessons, volunteering, IMechE and all that. This is all the highlights. If you're young, stretch yourself. And there's possibly a girl in a position to give back. Please give back. So that's a bit about me. Okay. Forget about me. Much, much more important. I want to talk about you. Because there's 50 of you in the room, there's only one of me, and you're much more interested. So I'm now going to talk about you and your superpowers. I'm going to demonstrate that. Like, one thing I'm going to kick off with, where I think is this. Who's been to the Railway Challenge before? Who's been there? Lots of good. That's a good helping mix. If you've not been, please go. This is brilliance at work. I mean, fair enough, I was boasting hard in 20 weeks. I've got a fleet in. The fleet was already built. I just had to get it from one thing. These people build vehicles from nothing. I've got to admit. So I'm now going to, if my slides work, I'm now going to, I did say one of my focus is about letting people, young people shine. Therefore, I want to do that. I'm going to hand over to TfL, who are going to talk about how fantastic the Rail Challenge is. So it's Addy and Olivia. So over to you. We'll be back. Sorry about that. There you go.
Hi, so I'm Olivia, this is Addy, and we co-led TfL's team this year. We're going to talk through our experience and everything we learned in the challenge. So I'm just going to talk you through a bit of a timeline of how the year goes. So we inherited the loco about a year ago and formed our team. So we began doing a condition assessment of the train we inherited and focused on what projects we wanted to do. So we looked at what needed to be done and what we'd quite like to do as sort of more innovative. So this was like keeping the gauges for the brakes in gauge, and then also redeveloping the location announcement, which was a new challenge. So we formed our team and then went from there. The next stage was design and manufacture. This had a lot of iterations and we had feedback from our sponsors throughout and also reached out to other rolling stock engineers. You can see some of our projects on the side there. So that took quite a while, but eventually we got the train ready and we went for a test run in Watford on a very sunny day, as you can see. And we learned a lot of lessons that day, mostly on how to get the train in and out of a van, but it was very good. And yeah, we were lucky with the weather. So between then and the challenge weekend itself, we had a lot of tinkering with the train and getting it ready, but we made it. And it was definitely the highlight of the year and a very fun weekend. Addie's going to talk about that in more detail later. So finally, we just wanted to round off the year with a good handover, as we felt that was really important. So we made sure that we involved the whole team to sort of make a lessons learned project and handed that over in a presentation along with a few designs that were sort of 2-year projects, for example, the bogie at the top. So overall, the project's just a really good way of running a project from the start to the end, which we don't really get at TfL because our placements are only 3 months long. And it's just also a really good opportunity to get hands-on, another thing that you don't really get as much in all your placements. And we wanted to just highlight how they all link so well to the MPDS scheme, as you mentioned before. So we managed to tick off actually like pretty much all the categories of our competencies. And that's doing things that you don't get to do in your job. So things like budget management, we don't really get to do as grads, and health and safety, like high level health and safety. Yeah, so we just want to highlight that. That was really good.
Now I'm going to talk a bit more about the weekend itself. Going into the weekend, we had a lot of problems with the locomotive. We had problems with electrical systems, and the motor controller itself wasn't working. So it was a challenging weekend to go into, and the lack of time didn't really help us in that matter. We also enjoyed the whole weekend. It was very much of a learning experience in terms of meeting different teams. Different teams, when I say it's different companies coming in, different universities coming in, talking to them, and there was sort of a camaraderie between different teams, which they helped us when we wanted spare parts and when we needed some kind of help with diagnosing the issues that we were having. It was a really good weekend in terms of interacting with them, and also camping with my teammates, which is always fun. Some people might disagree. Camping might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it was really fun camping with them, and good food, really good fun. And we also interacted with a lot of judges. I see some judges here as well. Interacted with a lot of judges. They were all really friendly, understanding, and they wanted us to do well. They made it clear it's not just about winning. It's also about making your loco run and having your teammates see that. As you can see, this is the pictures. This is all the pictures we could fit into this slide. That's the campsite. It was really fun, and this is our teammates working, and that's me driving the train, and that's us receiving the prize. The next slide is we asked our teammates what 3 skills they got out of this challenge and the whole weekend itself. As you can see, this is like a word cloud we made. Leadership, communication, time management, project management are some of the things that stands out of this. For example, communication, we had to prepare a lot of documents which communicated with different stakeholders what we wanted to do, and then also within the team what they wanted to do. Leadership, for me personally, I developed lots of skills within leadership, time management, especially budget management with this project. When you look at this project, it is a miniature version of what we face in real life, doing our real jobs as well. And as role of permanent engineers now, we're using that in daily life. I'm really glad that I could have this experience. I would really encourage anyone here who hasn't been involved already to get involved in this. And yeah, thanks for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, really, thank you very, very much for that. And it's interesting, because my 35 years, you picked up so much of that in that year. So, and I do reach out if you can support that or come along to it along. I think it's one of the best things we do as a real division that really makes an impact on young people, and people get jobs out of it and people develop out of it. So brilliant, thank you very much. So back to you. So don't forget. So let's say that working. Right. Couple of things. Mugs. Where to get some information from? Engineer. Someone who does precise guesswork based on unreliable data to provide those of questionable knowledge. Also, wizard or magician. That's about right. Next mug. A person who solves problems that you did not know they had using methods that they do not understand. A person that's forgotten more about maths than you ever know. I'm actually coaching people on A-level maths. Good at this, actually. You get how good we are at maths. Oh, very simply, I'm an engineer. What's your superpowers? I'll come on. A couple of the mugs. Mug shots. Mug shots. Yeah, no, they've been very inspirational, and Andrew especially has been very helpful and encouraging. Thank you. So, superpowers. Have you got superpowers? Okay, I definitely do, and I'm going to prove it tonight. Okay, before I came down here, I went right on the shop floor, got 6 steel bars. Those who got the steel bars, hands up. Did you break the steel bars? How many cycles did it take for your steel bars? What was the highest number of cycles? 4. What was the lowest? 11. Southwest did it in 2. Now, As a wee bit flippant on my steel bar, but they were steel bars. I did give them. Well, paper clips. They were extra strength paper clips. So much so that the quick calculation, it took 1.1 kilonewtons to break that. That's enough to lift me. That is a lot of mass. Trust me. Don't you laugh. I could even lift you as well. How did they manage to do that? I just handed them a bar and they broke it. Go on. How did you break the bar? So they got people up, and they bent it. So they put some bending moments into it. I did a little bit of a stress concentration factor on it. On some of them, I didn't do them all. They then put it through a fatigue cycle. Okay. So with their super strength, they managed to break a bar of 1.1 kilonewtons, which is quite a feat. And they did it. Did you hear a snapper break? They did it quite in the background. So demonstrate you all have fantastic super strength. You can use the power engineering. You're using stress concentration factors, bending moments, and fatigue, and you manage to do some fantastic stuff. You've all been wondering why you've got a packet of sweets. You can now take out your sweets. This is what everyone part of this. If you get sweets, has anyone not got some sweets? When you're sweets from the top, it's difficult, challenging. Then what I'm saying, Superpower 19 can't move up back at these things. Now, yeah, you turn it upside down. I have already through a stress concentration factor. You can now handle sweets. And everyone can have sweets. I should have done this at the end. So I'm not going to some big bars, some can't move back sweets. But a bit of engineering, stress concentration factor, you can now open up your sweets. So those who can, didn't check for allergic reactions, but yeah, help yourself to sweets. I'm glad getting sweets. So yeah, we use the power 4. So I've demonstrated you have super strength already. So that's pretty good. Okay, what else have you got? I think you've got extra vision. I think you can look at that bogey and work out, tell them how did the forces flow through that. And I do tease the young engineer, go, tell her, see when you're sitting on a train, and you see that bogey, how does the weight from you transfer down to the wheels? I just go to the board, demonstrate it. But if you think about it, you can work through in terms of how it goes through the bolster and then goes through the second suspension or the primary suspension and how it works. You can actually visualize that. And if you go into the axles, you'll know, because you were your X-ray vision, you'll know if you had sharp edges there, you'll have high stress concentration factors. And we know high stress concentration factors are not very good. They're good for straights, they're not very good for axles. You know that now. So you can visualize that. You can look at the axle and tell it, get that, I must have curves, reduces that. And you can visualize your axle in terms of where the stress bit. So yeah, you've got X-ray vision, that's pretty good. So super strength, X-ray vision. What other skills have you got? Problem solvings. How does your suspension work on a train? In terms of more people going at it, how does that work? How's it linking to the brakes? John, our expert at the back from a brake point of view. Yeah, we can work through that. Speaking of brake systems, we can probably work through that, although traction aheads, although I'd probably ask John to help me out. Go, John, can you help me out in that? Well, we can actually work through complex problems, whether it's air system, or it's mechanical designs, and thinking about safety and all that stuff, working with in the past, in terms of thinking about, in terms of how does it do the loads, how to make sure we lay the bars and how to lay line. We can work through complex problems. We're really good at that. Didn't know, not too bad so far. I begged this from our current president. Engineers, this is a late Duke of Edinburgh. I mentioned Duke of Edinburgh at the very beginning, so Duke of Edinburgh helped me get into this, so Duke of Edinburgh himself says, engineers are second only to God. Everything he didn't create has been created or invented by engineers. Okay. But if you think about it, it's not that far. Richard, we're really, really good. Don't forget that. We've got superpowers. We also can use the power of harnessing energy. And that includes people energy as well. So on that note, there's a lot of this is from the real technical tour, I love that picture. I'm not going to say any more because, again, I'm going to let the younger people shine through. So I'm now going to pass over to Josh, and he's going to talk about the railway technical tour and why it's a brilliant development tool. Josh, you want to come up, please?
I'll work it out. So yeah, thank you, Iain, for having me. So I'm going to talk to you about the Railway Technical Tour, which is where I met Iain earlier this year. So I thought I'd start with a bit of an introduction about myself. So I've been working at Angels Trains now as a graduate engineer for the past year. I graduated from the University of Bristol with a Master's in Mechanical Engineering. And for the past year, I've been sort of going around the company and around the industry, gaining as much experience. And I'd like to mention that before joining the industry, I didn't have any ties to the railway industry. So this past year has been me basically falling in love with the industry. And the Railway Technical Tour was one of those things that really helped. So let me tell you a bit about it, right? Is that good doing? No? There we are.
You can work out complex problems.
There you go. So where did we go this year? So we started in Vienna, in Austria. We spent a few nights there before heading through Slovakia. We went round Slovakia, staying in Žilina and Poprad, before ending up in Budapest, before taking a monumental 7-hour train journey to Zagreb, our final destination. More on that later. But the agenda was really well organised. It was packed full of different things, from museums and rolling stock manufacturing and tunnel construction and gravity yards to come onto, and metro. And these were all things that I'm yet to experience in my career so far. So I could probably talk to you all evening about what we did, but I'll pick on 2 of my personal highlights from the agenda. So on the left, this is Vienna Central Marshalling Yard. It's a gravity yard. So the concept, I believe, this sort of came and went in this country. They're mostly extinct. I would have put a video up there, but I didn't trust technology. So I'm going to try and paint the picture. Basically, the freight wagons are pushed up the hill, and then they're loosely coupled so that when gravity starts to take over, they roll down the hill, the points change, and they get sorted into the different lanes where they need to go. And I guess for me, it was sort of, when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, this makes sense, but this is absolutely bonkers. Like, you just letting wagons free roll down a hill was just crazy to me. And I mean, I hope this image on the bottom left really shows that it was huge. This site just seemed to go on forever. And it was really loud as well. It's just so loud. There's retarders that sort of control the speed of the wagons as they go down the hill. So the reason I brought this one up is because this is something I really could not have experienced in this country if I hadn't gone on the tour. The next one I want to pick up on, this is Tatra Wagonka in Poprad. So this is a wagon manufacturing facility, and again, this was just on a completely different scale for me. They manufacture, I think, something like 12,000 bogies per year, 4,500 wagons, and being able to see the wagons go from the raw components to a nice shiny new wagon by the end was really fascinating for me. And I won't lie, the health and safety was definitely a bit of a culture shock, but we'll move on from there. But the technical tour is definitely more than just the agenda. Iain's nodding because he knows what's coming. It's all about what happens off the agenda, what happens in between. So I thought I'd pick up on 2 of my favourite stories. So on the left, you may find where our very own chairman of the railway division single-handedly took down the Hungarian metro through pure curiosity alone. He decided he would open the vestibule door. The train didn't move, and eventually a very angry metro driver stomps down the platform and gives him a look that could kill, and then everyone promptly gets off. The train goes, and we all sort of stand there for 10 minutes to wait for the next one to come. So yeah, cheers to that one, Iain. Definitely a one to tell. And then on the left, that 7-hour train journey I told you about. Well, the mission for the younger members was to provide provisions to keep everyone happy for those 7 hours. And of course, that was going to be funded by the older members. So being a group of young engineers, we took it, we took the challenge. We haggled with the museum shopkeeper to get everyone a nice steel mug as a souvenir, got enough food and drink to keep everyone happy. And I'd say everyone left that journey with a smile on their face for whatever reason, actually. But really, for me, what made that so good was the fact that I think I managed to speak to everyone on that train journey. Everyone moved between the different compartments, and it was just chaotic in the best possible way. So a real highlight for me. And I think that, for me, brings me on to what I think was the true value of the technical tour, which was the people. So we started off, I was fortunate enough to be sent along with some of my colleagues, but apart from that, I didn't really know anyone else there. But by the time I left, I'd made friends, and there are people that I still speak to from the tour that to this day. And the truth is, the amount of experience that there was there around me, some of the older members who've been in the industry longer than I've been alive, were there to answer questions, provide insights, and just generally enrich the entire tour and all the experience. So I think for me, the message is, there's plenty of young engineers in the room. If you've got the opportunity, or someone here has the opportunity to send someone on the technical tour, please do. Definitely go. It's a great experience. It's one that I'll carry with me. It will broaden your horizons. It will. You'll have a lot of fun doing it, and you'll meet some great people. So I'll leave you with that.
Right. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. This is a plug for the people who are in responsibility. If you've got the opportunity to make this happen, please do. It does make differences, and thank you for that, Joe. Appreciate that. So, okay, summary. Okay, demonstrate you've got super strength. You can break steel bars. You can harness nature, you've got X-ray vision, and you can lead and harness people. In summary, you do have superpowers. Use them to the best ability. So, brilliant. Okay. Have some fun in a way, which you did on a tour. And I do apologise for bringing down the metro system. That was one of the things I was curiosity. Yeah, if you know how something breaks, you know how to fix it. Yeah, that's it. So, where are we now? I need a favour from you. I asked. I did say at the very beginning, one thing I want to focus on is increasing diversity and inclusion by focusing on young members. And that's why I deliberately had Chancellor Wales up, deliberately had Joss up. Because if I'm standing up here, we should encourage young members. I've got to demonstrate what I'm doing it too. So that's really important. And by doing that, you bring that diversity of thought, you bring that expertise, you get how to work TikTok and BI and all sorts of things that I will never have the skills to do. So that's really important. So, ask of you. So, I'm going to go back here. This is what I believe. I believe in terms of, there was a bit when I sponsored student bits because they stopped recruiting when privatisation came along. So from 2000, after about 10 years behind me, it was basically very few engineers were brought into the railway. There was used to be at the railway, we used to bring about 40 railway engineers every single year into the market when it was graduates, sponsored students. We stopped doing that. So I think it's a bow wave of, not a bow, but a negative bow wave where we don't have the skills for our railway. And so, oh, come on, that's, they've got succession planning to keep it. And a little bit I thought, young members naturally brings diversity properly. So that led me to develop the case of developing young professionals is the mission critical. One, we need the skills. And secondly, they've actually got some fantastic skills we need for the industry. That's what I believed. Does the data support that? Okay. Before going to data, I'll use the data here just now. I said 42 is the magic answer. If you're 42 and over, don't mind standing up. So I'm just checking how diverse this group is. Okay. I've seen work not done this. So, by the way, I'll be doing this at the real lunch. So make sure your tables are sit down. If you're under 42, please stand up. So yeah, that's really fun. My statistic. You can sit down. Sit down. So what does that look like? This was the last committee meeting that I shared from the Scotland point of view. I just thought, and for whatever reason, the older people just couldn't make it. I was the old in the room. But I looked at it and went, tell you what, we've got a diverse committee, and that really, and information, I am really passionate about focusing on young people. We have a young, diverse, well, it's not perfect, but we made efforts to make our committee young and diverse. And by doing that, you get diversity of thought. So that's what it can look like. Okay. So we'll flick on through, so what is NSAR saying about all this? So let's flick back one. There's some big numbers here. I know any one number can, $750 million could be lost through retirement. Now, I'm at an age where I can retire in a few years' time. There's a little bit of, there's unfortunate few of us have some real retirement conditions can retire quite early. If we don't sort that, £750 million cost, if we don't get succession planning right, not my figures, NSAR figures. If we look at it in terms of our workforce, now this is across all the way, in terms of our split between our male and female, in terms of our older bit, yeah, we don't have that diversity. Even on the younger side, it's a bit better in terms of percentage of females. It's just nowhere, and it's even worse than engineering. I'm going to come on to that. In terms of gender balance over time, in 2006, and this is a railway thing, this is engineering even worse. 12%. It's embarrassing. We're now at 17, 18%. It should be 50%. Yeah. So, something from that finding, gender balance is getting better. But things are way really bad and real, and we're worse than engineering, I'm afraid. Contrast graph here, 34% could retire soon. And if we don't get that succession planning, someone just retired this week, I believe, as well. That's not. If we don't get that succession planning right, yeah, it is going to cost railway. We don't have the skills. So, yeah, in terms of this, focusing on young people, that's why it's come for this. The data is supporting what I thought it would be. Look a bit more in terms of NSAR. If we look at the skill sets and best species, I mentioned the gender balance being. Sorry, it's not so bad in business, man. Engineering. How embarrassing is that? Now, fair enough, that's a lot of historical stuff, but it is. Oh, yeah, I still cringe when I see that data. We've just not got gender balance right at all. It's going to take time. Things like prime engineer, if you ever get a chance to do prime engineer, please do that, because that's about developing, because you put the sparks of imagination to younger people that I can be an engineer no matter what your gender is. Secondary engineer again. I suppose my point of view, obviously, I could say my sort of scope is like, what can I do within the rail division? How do we help the rail division? But I do encourage people, if you can get involved with prime engineer, secondary engineer, and placements, that can make a difference and get people in. So when I have a key point of view, so I'm just going to put up some base stats in terms of white people and minorities and all that. If we look, now unfortunately, in the key data, it's got a bit of granularity in sort of lower age groups, but in terms of it's not. But because they're under 30s, sort of 60, 65% white, it's actually not too bad, actually. Obviously, and for lots of reasonable species, the older bit's not there, but our younger people, from an ethnic point of view, there's actually a bit of diversity there. If we look at it from a male-female point of view, under 25s, 5%, under 20%, that's not what. Target should be 50%. If we look at our older age, it's so yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. I almost say but we almost get half the population saying don't do engineering, which is bonkers. So yeah, if we can do anything to encourage that, that is really important. So my summary in that is under 42s, yeah, a good mix from ethnicity point of view. There's a good bit of diversity, which is really good. Our gender balance is woeful, but we can all do a little bit by making that difference. So if you can do a little bit, do that. So developing younger people, and that's when I come back, but if we're developing that young bit, we just bring that natural diversity and some thought, which is bringing that sort of from an IMechE point of view, in terms of some of my summaries from that. Okay. So my challenge out of this, I've already said you're brilliant. So everyone said you're brilliant, please shine. So everyone's got ability to do that. But about just be kind to one another as well. Life's tough as well. And with a nice little safety moat, a nice little say at the moment, our Rural Division Board this afternoon, just be kind to each other, pause, relax. Not pause for 30 seconds, would love to do that. James is already breathing the right way already. Look up, stop. And that's about sort of breathing in and out. Not to say, hello, look, just look after yourselves as well as look after people. But around general, I mentioned, yes, that's my thing. So yeah, so that's my ask of everyone. Just look after yourself and be kind to others. If you're in a position of influence, think about how you can help the future rail, whether it's recruitment or how you develop your staff. Just a little thought is, think about who you bring into meeting. Deliberately go tell them, bring some of the younger people into this meeting. They might not contribute initially, but bring them in. Or it might be a case of at the luncheon. I've got to admit, I'm we're sponsoring a table of Scotland, and Stephen said, "Can you do a list of people we can invite?" So I did the list. I sent it, and reflected, they went, "It's the same old people," and we scrapped the list altogether, and we started again, and we've got a much better list that got other people involved. And I went, so have that pause. If you're in a person around, when it's deciding who's going to the meeting or who you're invited to be a luncheon, pause for a second before you press the send button and go, this person's my table, and how many young people, and am I developing people? Pause. I will be asking at the real luncheon. So you all warned, those I will be doing it. So if there's a table that everyone stands up on the 42, I'm like, come on, surely you know someone under 42. So apparently you do have a part to play. If you're a young engineer, keep developing and stretching yourself. Please do that. If you're not invited to the table of the meeting, ask, why any chance of coming to that meeting? Or can I go to that meeting lunch? Ask, don't be them. You're brilliant. Yeah. Ask the thing. If you want to get involved in IMechE, please get involved. It does, I think it genuinely does, whether it's a Railway Technical 2 or the Railway Challenge or your members, getting involved, it really does help you. And next slide, £1,000 up for grabs. Now, one of the slides is, there's £1,000 for the apprentice of a year. And I banged the table at the board meeting today. £1,000 up for grabs for any apprentice in England and Wales, not Scotland. That's by the by, there's a reason for that. How many people applied up to now? Closing date in 4 days' time. 0! So there's £1,000 up for grabs. If you're not an apprentice, grab one of these and get your phones out and take a sort of hope that'll do some lights. So if you're no apprentice, there's an easy £1,000 up, get your application in. Go. Can somebody just try the phones in that? Because I'm just saying, does that work? Someone might work, some might work. I'm just trying something different. This looks like really good here, because everyone's got their phones out as if I'm famous and all that. Can I just get a photograph of this just for fun? Right, everyone's phones out. Say it. I'm trying my best to be a bit with it. Just a couple of things on that. What highlight? £1,000. Get to know about it, do that. L&D team bits, pieces of things we can do for you. Quite important one I just want to highlight. Alice Callahan, it runs a part of a buddy scheme. It's a bit about looking after yourself, helping. If you find yourself as a younger person and you're not sure what to do, you get in an awkward situation, you feel uncomfortable, we do have a buddy scheme. Please use that, it's there to help you. Tom, do you want to say anything else more than that? Because I think a buddy scheme is really important.
Yeah, so this was launched last year at the IMechE lunch actually. It was born out of the fact that there was we found there was a COVID gap. A lot of graduates of my year, we have the people a year above us, 2 years above us, that you could ask those silly questions to. You might not be able to feel you could ask the line manager or people in the business. After COVID, we noticed that sort of buddy within your business was lacking, and there's some industries or some businesses that only will take on 1 or 2 graduates a year, so there might not be that link to people within the IMechE or the railway industry. So we set up this buddy scheme where it's for people, anyone really, to ask stupid questions, advice, mentoring from people that have been in your situation 2 or 3 years ago. So I graduated from the MPDS scheme 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm fortunate to, as Iain said, I'm a massive champion of the MPDS scheme. If you're new on that scheme or you have questions about how it works that you might not have links within your organisation to ask, then that is a great place to go. I think about 14 of us that will respond and help you out if you need it. So it's a great place to be.
Yeah. IMechE does a lot, we do a lot of sweet things, but also we get that support and as they look after each other. So no, thank you for that. That's the promise. I'm also going to highlight that. So some landing places for you. Don't forget that £1,000. I want some up. I want to get people to get that money. Okay, so summary of me. MPS scheme we talked about. Stretch yourself. People do make it happen. For those in pressure influence, make sure we're doing that. But customer engineering, of course, things we do. So just remember that. Hopefully that was some learning I got in the way, and hopefully you've taken away a bit from that. Part 3, summary. You do have super strengths. You can break that bar. You can harness people. You've got an enormous skill. Use that, please. My ask, we talked about that, but it's really important about the skills gap, diversity. Yeah, we all got a part to play in this. I can't do this myself. Everyone in this room's got a little bit of pushing a little bit or asking. Please do that, because it's there's nothing better I love seeing as young people shine. The railway challenge is brilliant, so please come along to that. I know I've plugged that already, but yeah, letting younger people shine and stretch themselves. Yeah, please do that. And this is my focus. Yeah, I do genuinely believe it's passion in terms of right, we can increase diversity and inclusion by focusing on young people and bring that diversity of thought and knowledge into the railway, which is what we need. That's me. Thank you for listening. I'm just going to do my Pamela Harris. Is it before and after? I don't feel so bad, I think, but yeah, Trump losing more than I do, which is good.
Iain, thanks so much for that. Your lack of being calm comes across as just infectious enthusiasm, and this focus on young people and D&I is just brilliant. It's the second time I've heard this presentation, and I've actually picked up more, I think, second time round, just listening that bit more deeply to what Iain's saying. We've got time for Q&A now. If you're in the virtual room, you'll find on Zoom there's a Q&A function. Please do drop your questions in there. I'll be able to see them and ask them of Iain. If you're in the room, happy to take questions, but please would you just wait until the microphone reaches you. One for those that might find it difficult to hear in the room, and also those online won't hear unless you've got the microphone. So I'm sure that's going to stimulate quite a few questions and some debate. George, by the way, was keen just to let us know that he was standing up at home for the under 42s. George was on the technical tour with us, and I knew that would land with Iain. I've not got any other questions online. Please get them coming in, but I'm happy to take some from the room.
Well, I think we talked about the happy train coming in. That from an output point of view was in terms of making a physical difference. Yeah, I think the other bits I'm actually, and I'm really proud of is the development of people. I've had people who are graduates from me are now in very senior positions in Siemens Alliance. That gives now. I had an influence or not. I think I had a little bit of influence. I expect seeing people shine, seeing some of the young people we brought into committee and to Scotland now get involved with the Rail Division Board. I get a bit of satisfaction from that. That picture I had of our committee meeting, where we had 50% were female, we had a black person or something from Chinese origin. I had a little tear in my eye when I saw that. I really did. I went, tell you what, making a small difference here with gentle people, but that's probably bit I get more satisfaction about now, is seeing younger people shine. Real challenge, well, again, yeah, I just love seeing that. I just, what brilliance of what PFL done and all the companies. Yeah, seeing young people shine is the biggest thing I enjoy by a long way now. Thank you for that question.
I've got a question that's been posed online, Iain, from Charlie, and I think his question actually tells us something quite telling. He wants to thank you for an interesting presentation, not just to yourself, but also to the other presenters. His question is, how do we bring more younger and diverse people into this amazing industry? But he qualifies it by saying, having joined after university, I only wish that I and many others in my course had known about the incredible journey and career that the rail industry can offer you sooner. He also thanks you for sharing the Scottish phrases, colleagues in the room with you, take note.
It's all small bits. And I suppose maybe from a centre's point of view is how do you maybe link up your local university? I know the South West do a lot of linking up with the university. We don't do that well in Scotland. So, but how do we link up that university and something, bring them in? And yeah, one thing I would say, I used to go to IMechE lectures when I was a student at Strathclyde University. I went along to a few of them. No one spoke to me, and I went, tell what, I'm just going to the pub. I should give up my time. So my ask is just a little observation. If you're at any meeting and you see someone by themselves, go and speak to them. There's nothing worse than being in a room when you come in and by yourself. So make sure when you do get them, you keep them, you say hello to them. I think it's a wider point, again, about that prime engineer. If you can help it in any way in prime engineer, which is a local school, or your own kids, or your friends' kids and that, anything that says that engineer is a fantastic career is always good. And if you put a real spin on that, all the better as well. But yes, we've got little messages as well. Yeah, we can make policy statements and bits and pieces, but ultimately sometimes it's about you speaking to someone that makes that touch point difference to people.
Thanks, Iain, but I think that's a really interesting observation about getting the message, particularly to university students earlier, notwithstanding your comments, which really hit home about the primary engineer angle. Can I take another question in the room, please? Richard.
I really think about that one. Yeah, I suppose sustainability cuts lots, and I suppose initially I was very fortunate. I was asked to create my own job and overall type things, and it's going a little bit back in terms of looking after people. I work for Jerry. Jerry used to work for me in the past, and we've got a good relationship. Type things for years and years old. So I said, come and work for me, give yourself a job title and do it type things. About the sustainability bit initially was about sustainability, about transport of hydroflex and biomotors. It's all about that sustainability bit. I think reflecting on that about how to make a sustainable railway from a people point of view, a sustainable is massively wide, both in terms of from a carbon point of view, but it's also the sustainability of our industry in terms of bringing the people. So let me reflect on that. Thanks for that.
I'm still keen to get some more questions from those that have joined us online. So don't be bashful. Please ask away. Are there any more in the room?
I think we've got one in the middle there.
Sorry, where?
Glad my wife hasn't asked me a question yet. That's fine.
I don't know if you're familiar with the phrase imposter syndrome, but it's the feeling of when you go into a new role or job and feel like you're maybe not adequately skilled for it. I want to know if you ever feel that going into new roles and joining different companies, and if you've experienced that through your career?
Excel, absolutely. And I'm a completely different person now compared to I was when I was younger. Nice possibly I'd be the quiet person who wouldn't be saying anything. So yeah, big sale. And to some extent, my perception of the railway wasn't that friendly. There was a bit of a hierarchical thing. I think the railway's better. Might not be good enough, but interestingly, I won't mention name, but someone who came up and did a bit of a talk at the Southwest one made that comment. He felt he had that, but he did a fantastic. So I think it's about, yeah, I personally had a lot of that. Yeah, and I think it's probably my latter years where I don't have that at all now. Just be open and honest. Yeah, but yeah, I definitely had that a lot when I was younger. And I suppose I suppose two bits. One, if you do feel that, it's quite natural, but try not to feel that. And if you are in meetings and you do feel someone's a bit quiet in the corner, try and bring them out. You obviously don't embarrass people, but try and help people. People shouldn't have that imposters. We should be as an industry try to help people. Is that answered enough? Thanks for your question.
Thank you. We got any more in the room, James?
Almost a muck shot there, James. You're almost.
Thank you, Iain. Really insightful to understand how you dealt with, I suppose, all the things that you faced in your career. So from a personal perspective, so I'm another one of those above 42s. But I was inspired by your stretch yourself strategy, or the principle that you applied. How do you know when to take control of yourself? What are the things you use that means that you no longer rely on the stuff going on around you and you think, actually, I need to do something?
Yeah. Maybe I think there's a bit about if you're not learning something new for a period of time, you go tell her. Listen, everyone's different. So you might go, I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy not to stretch. So this is about everyone's got their own personal choice. But for me, it's a case of, yeah, go tell her, I think I can do more here. I think I can get more pound sellers and bends as well. So don't get me wrong. Some of my stretching was about, I think we should do that. I think I want to expand my job to X, Y, and Z because of a business needs. So somehow, one of the things, small bit, was I developed a crash repair strategy for Springburn Depot. I thought there's a market here. We developed it. Later on, we worked with our sister site down in Eastland with Peter as well. I said no. So basically, I went to the business here. There's a business here. I think we can bring more money in. I want to be part of it and lead it, and I want some more money, please. Simple. So, and I'll be very honest. So, yes, but I think, yeah, when you feel like, tell what, I've not really learned anything new recently, I've not been stretched. And it's a bit about, everyone's different. If you feel like you're always too comfortable all the time, again, that might be fine. Maybe you go tell her, should I be just stretch myself? I'm not, I don't want people to put themselves in where they're really uncomfortable. That's not. But you should feel a bit of healthy tension can be good. That works for me. Let's see what's for anyone. But yeah. So if you are feeling a bit, I've done new in the last 6 months, I'll do something about it on a personal basis. Or come along time, you keep no stretching.
Thanks, James.
Obviously, as my previous question earlier, what is a mistake that you've made in your career that you feel that you've learned quite a lot from?
Mistakes? Oh, there's lots of them. I think one, not having confidence early. I think it's a bit in terms of that. I'll tell you one. I'll tell you an engineering big mistake I did. Listen, first appointment in the railway. I was put on night shift because to get a bit of experience and all that. And nice plus way, you're quite green and you think nothing about it. So they said, go to servicing bit. So I went to servicing there and there's vehicle came in with low power. And what it did was, Tim's got it's the diesel engines, diesel, you've got void, transmission, and you've got train. So they removed the filters from the void and it was just full of metal, absolutely full of metal. So they decided to train everything down, put new filters up, did a power test, and it was all good. and they put it out. I went, okay. And I said nothing. 5 o'clock the following day, I got a phone call from shift manager. Iain, can you come in early? Yeah, what's up? We've had a fire at Baltic High Station. 158 has gone up in flames, and can you do the investigation? I wish I'd been that confidence to go, are we sure the right thing? Or can I just ask, what are these filings and where did it come from? So I was about to have that confidence, and maybe that imposter syndrome of, I didn't feel I had to spend, ask the question. Now, fortunately, that fire created underframe damage, no harm done. But yeah, no worse when someone goes up. Yeah, the unit you were on last night, some fire, been on fire. Can you investigate it? Yeah, so yeah, be confident when you got it. Don't be asked that question. Stand up, not stand up, but yeah, be bold and stand up. Yeah, that's probably one of my bigger engineering mistakes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Iain. Do we have any last questions in the room? No. There is one more question online. Have we?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
apologies, I didn't see a hand. Please go ahead.
If you could start, like, say your career now, like you're stood in my shoes, like, what would you do? Where would you go? What's the first thing you'd have?
What's your current, you at the TFL team?
RSSB.
RSSB, and you first placement type thing or second placement, or?
This is like my first coming out of uni.
It's coming out of uni, okay,
Graduate.
okay. When I actually get involved with IMechE, or getting involved with other institutes, one, get your contacts. I think what I get a lot of these is just meeting people, phone a friend, with a buddy say. So I expect go to your local IMechE, get more involved, ask questions, keep stretching yourself a little bit at the right time. Yeah, I think basically keep learning as well. Keep learning and learning. Whether it's engineering learning or whether not learning how to manage people or manage situations. Expose yourself. Make sure you can get in that meeting or try something different. I've got a wonderful member of our committee, a girl called Cheapo. She came along to their lunch with the chair about 3-4 years ago. I've actually yourself, James. She asked a brilliant question. James went, okay, she's switched on. So I've got her in a committee. And every time I phone up and say, Cheapo, I'm going to work, but she's always in night shift or doing something. She's out there experiencing. So yeah, get as much experience. Expose yourself. And I'm supposed to be by exposing yourself to things in society situations, you can't do much harm. And if you do something wrong, people will back you up. When you get a bit older, you're possibly responsible for your mistakes. When you're young, listen, you're not responsible, but yeah, keep experience and stretch yourself and enjoy what you do. Does that help? I'm happy to explain more afterwards as well.
Thank you very much.
No disrespect, Iain, but I think you've given the over 42s advice there. So if I might, and I'm not suggesting it's wrong at all, but if I might chip in, don't forget that QR code for the buddy scheme.
Yeah.
You've got access there to a lot of younger people that have been in your situation far more recently than Iain, I, or a number of others in the room. Feel free to use it. You've not got to have any particular issue to get in contact, and they'd be more than happy to, talk through their experiences at their stage in your career. And I know they'll give you some really good pointers if you want to take that up as well.
Let me just add, speak to Tom. Make sure you speak to Tom after this. He'll help you. A lot of shouting there. Look, Nicola, how long have you been in the railway? 2 weeks. You've been to 2 talks. You've been to. You've also been. You went to National Rail Awards.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then supposed to be, and part of that was she came up to see. Go speak to you. Speak to me, right? You come to South West next week. So speak to people, get involved. But if you speak to Tom, Tom could be I'm sure he'll enlist you into his committee. There we are. Thank you, Tom.
Cards at the ready. Thanks, Tom. Okay, I was going to draw things to a close, but I have got one last question online. It comes from someone called Tracy. She says, "Hi, Andrew, it's Iain's wife." Are you ready for this?
Oh, God.
Can you ask him if he can please pick up the messages on his way home tomorrow? Tracy, thank you so much for that. You've made us all smile, and we're glad that you could dial in and be here with us. Sorry, I necessarily needed to sit down so I could see the tech. Let me come over here next to Iain, and then at least I'm on the screen. Iain, thanks so much for your chair's address this evening. As I think you've picked up from a number of remarks in the room, your lack of calm and your infectious enthusiasm has come across in bounds, and that clear message of D&I and that natural progression of getting young people into the industry is vitally important. And I think in amongst the paper clips and the packets of sweets and all the other mayhem that's gone on this evening, that message has come through loud and clear. I not only want to thank Iain for his presentation, but also Addy, Olivia, Josh, for you coming along to support Iain and putting across in your own words experiences from a young person's perspective, either of the Railway Challenge or the Railway Technical Tour. I was there for both of them, so I just wholeheartedly fully support what the young people said, and I think it's interesting to get your sort of personal perspectives afterwards that probably went a little further than some of the conversation during the event. So thank you to you as well for supporting Iain. Everyone in the room and at home as well, please would you join me in thanking Iain and his supporting cast for this year's Chair's Address.
It's really, really pleasing, and it's a bit with his number of young people in here now. There was a little bit where I cheated about Team TFL, but I cheat. But no, thanks for coming along. Thanks for listening. I hope it comes in. And thanks for my co-presenters. Been brilliant. Thank you.
Stay there, please, everyone. I do have some announcements of future events. The IMechE's annual dinner is taking place on the 21st of November. At the Manufacturing Technology Centre in Coventry. A particularly poignant one, years, that's the Young Engineers and Apprentices Railway Seminar, is taking place on the 28th and 29th of November in Cardiff. That's an event for those people that are on the title. But importantly, it is organised by the Railway Division's own young members. So it's young members laying on events for young members. And it is open to young engineers, undergrads, postgrads, and apprentices equally. I'm on the inside of the programme and the planning, and I know it's going to be an absolutely fabulous event with a lot of networking and some site visits as well as presentations. So again, details are on the IMechE RD website, 28th and 29th of November in Cardiff. Iain has mentioned the Railway Division's own annual luncheon and his expectations, of course. That date for your diaries is the 28th of February next year, and that's held in the Marriott Grosvenor House Hotel on Park Lane here in London. Before we depart, Iain as the chair and myself as the immediate past chair were wondering what to do afterwards. So two chairs thought it might be a good idea to go round the corner to the two chair men. So the serious point in all this is if you'd like to join us, you're all cordially welcome. I'm sure there'll be a snake of people down the street. But if you can remember the fire instructions, out the front door, left on the pavement, down 100 metres, through a little alleyway, up some steps. By the time you get to the top of the steps, the two chairman's obvious because it's in front of you, and we'd love to see you there. Thank you so much all for coming, for supporting Iain. Have a good journey home if you need to dash off, but remember, you don't necessarily have to. Thank you all.